Welcome to our channel. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more English stories. Once there was a girl who felt very alone. She lived in a small old house on the edge of a big forest. Her name was Lily, and she had no one to talk to. Every day she would sit by the window looking at the trees and the birds, wishing she had someone to keep her company. Lily's parents had gone away many years ago. She did not know where they went or if they would ever come back. She often thought about them and missed them very much. She felt a deep sadness in her heart that never seemed to go away. One night, when the moon was full, Lily heard a strange noise outside her window. It was a soft whisper, like the wind was trying to talk to her. She got up and walked to the window, looking out into the dark forest. There was nothing there, but the whispering continued, growing louder and louder. Lily felt scared, but also curious. She opened the window and leaned out, trying to hear what the whispering was saying. It sounded like a voice calling her name, but she could not see anyone. The wind blew through the trees, making them sway and creak as if they were alive. Suddenly, the whispering stopped, and everything became very quiet. Lily pulled back from the window and closed it quickly. She felt a chill run down her spine. She did not know what had just happened, but she knew it was something strange and unsettling. The next day, Lily could not stop thinking about the voice she heard. She wondered if it was just her imagination or if there was something in the forest trying to talk to her. She decided to go for a walk in the forest to see if she could find out what it was. As she walked through the trees, she felt like she was being watched. The forest was dark and quiet, with only the sound of her footsteps on the leaves. She kept walking deeper and deeper into the woods until she came to a small clearing. In the center of the clearing was a large old tree. It was the biggest tree Lily had ever seen, with thick, twisted roots and branches that reached high into the sky. The tree looked ancient, as if it had been there for hundreds of years. Lily walked up to the tree and touched its bark. It felt rough and cold under her fingers. She looked up at the branches, and for a moment she thought she saw something moving in the shadows. But when she looked closer, there was nothing there. As she stood there, she heard the whispering again. This time it was coming from the tree. Lily stepped back, her heart pounding in her chest. She could not believe what she was hearing. The tree was speaking to her, calling her name in a soft, gentle voice. Lily wanted to run away, but something kept her there, rooted to the spot. The voice was soothing, almost comforting, and it made her feel less alone. She listened as the tree told her a story about a girl who had once lived in the forest, just like her. The girl in the story had been very lonely, just like Lily. She had wandered into the forest one day, looking for something to fill the emptiness in her heart. But she had gotten lost, and no one had come to find her. The forest had become her home, and the trees had become her only friends. Lily felt a tear roll down her cheek as she listened to the story. She could feel the sadness of the girl in the story, and it made her heart ache. She wished she could have been there to help the girl, to keep her from feeling so alone. The tree finished its story and became silent. Lily stood there for a long time, thinking about what she had heard. She felt a deep connection to the girl in the story, as if they were the same person. She wondered if the tree had been telling her about her own life, or if it was just a coincidence. As she walked back to her house, Lily felt a strange sense of peace. She no longer felt as alone as she had before. The tree had shown her that she was not the only one who had ever felt lonely, and that made her feel a little better. That night, Lily had a dream. In the dream, she was walking through the forest again, but this time she was not alone. There was a boy walking beside her, holding her hand. He had kind eyes and a gentle smile, and he made her feel safe and loved. The boy told Lily that they had known each other in a past life. They had been lovers, but they had been separated by fate. He had been searching for her ever since, trying to find her so they could be together again. Lily woke up from the dream with tears in her eyes. She felt a deep sadness, but also a sense of hope. She knew that the boy in the dream was real and that he was out there somewhere, looking for her. The next day, Lily went back to the forest. She went to the old tree and told it about her dream. She asked the tree if it knew where the boy was, if it could help her find him. The tree did not answer, but Lily felt a soft breeze brush against her cheek, as if the tree was comforting her. Lily started going to the forest every day, hoping to find the boy from her dream. She walked through the trees, calling out his name, but she never found him. She began to lose hope, thinking that maybe it had all just been a dream. One day, as she was walking through the forest, Lily heard a noise behind her. She turned around and saw a boy standing there, just like the one from her dream. He smiled at her and said her name, and Lily felt her heart skip a beat. The boy told Lily that he had been having the same dream, that he had been looking for her just as she had been looking for him. He told her that they were meant to be together, that they had found each other again after all this time. Lily felt a wave of emotions wash over her. She was happy and relieved, but also scared. She had been alone for so long, and now that she had found someone who cared about her, she did not know what to do. The boy took Lily's hand and told her that everything would be okay. He told her that they would be together from now on, that she would never have to feel alone again. Lily felt tears in her eyes as she looked into his kind, gentle face. They walked through the forest together, hand in hand, and Lily felt a sense of peace that she had never felt before. She knew that she had finally found the one person who could fill the emptiness in her heart. As they walked, the boy told Lily about his life. He told her that he had been living in the same town as her for many years, but they had never met until now. He told her that he had always felt a strange connection to the forest, as if something was calling him there. Lily listened to his story and felt a deep sense of understanding. She knew that they were meant to be together, that their lives had been leading up to this moment. She felt a sense of gratitude to the old tree for bringing them together. The days passed, and Lily and the boy spent all their time together. They explored the forest, talked about their dreams, and made plans for the future. Lily felt like she had finally found a place where she belonged. One day, as they were sitting under the old tree, the boy told Lily about a strange dream he had been having. In the dream, he saw a woman standing at the edge of the forest, watching them. She had a sad, wistful look on her face, and the boy felt like she was trying to tell him something. Lily felt a shiver run down her spine as she listened to the boy's story. She knew that the woman in the dream was her mother. She had often felt her mother's presence in the forest, but she had never been able to see her. The boy told Lily that he believed her mother was trying to communicate with them, that she was trying to tell them something important. He suggested that they go to the edge of the forest and see if they could find her. Lily agreed, and they set off together, walking through the trees in silence. As they neared the edge of the forest, Lily felt a sense of anticipation, as if something big was about to happen. When they reached the edge of the forest, they saw a woman standing there, just as the boy had described. She was dressed in a long, flowing dress, and her hair was blowing in the wind. She had a sad but loving expression on her face. Lily felt tears well up in her eyes as she realized that the woman was her mother. She wanted to run to her, to hold her, and tell her how much she had missed her, but something held her back. The boy took Lily's hand and told her that her mother had come to say goodbye. She had been watching over her all these years, but now it was time for her to move on. She wanted Lily to know that she was proud of her and that she would always love her. Lily felt a deep sense of sorrow, but also a sense of peace. She knew that her mother was in a better place and that she would always be with her in spirit. She whispered a quiet goodbye, and the woman smiled before fading away into the trees. Lily and the boy stood there for a long time, holding hands and watching the spot where her mother had been. Lily felt a sense of closure, as if a chapter of her life had finally come to an end. As they walked back to the old tree, the boy told Lily that he believed their love had brought her mother peace. He told her that they were meant to be together, that they had been given a second chance to find happiness. Lily felt a deep sense of gratitude as she looked at the boy. She knew that he was right, that they had been given a gift. She knew that their love was strong enough to overcome anything, and that they would always be there for each other. They sat down under the old tree, and the boy put his arm around Lily, holding her close. They watched as the sun set behind the trees, casting a warm golden light over the forest. Lily felt a sense of contentment that she had never felt before. As the night fell, the boy told Lily that he had one more thing to tell her. He told her that he had been dreaming about their future together, about the life they would build. He told her that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her, to make her happy, and to never let her feel alone again. Lily felt tears in her eyes as she listened to the boy's words. She knew that he was the one she had been waiting for, the one who would fill the emptiness in her heart. She knew that they were meant to be together and that nothing could ever change that. They sat there under the old tree, holding each other close, and Lily felt a deep sense of love and happiness. She knew that she had finally found her place in the world and that she would never have to feel alone again. As they watched the stars twinkle in the night sky, Lily felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that her mother was watching over them and that she was happy for them. She knew that their love was strong enough to last a lifetime. Lily closed her eyes and whispered a quiet thank you to the old tree for bringing them together. She knew that their love was a gift and that they were meant to be together. She knew that they would always be there for each other, no matter what. And so, Lily and the boy lived happily ever after, their love growing stronger with each passing day. They knew that they had been given a second chance, and they were determined to make the most of it. They knew that their love was a gift, and they would cherish it forever. As they sat under the old tree, Holding hands and watching the stars, they knew that they had finally found their place in the world. They knew that they were meant to be together and that nothing could ever change that. And in the quiet of the night, as the wind whispered through, she was no longer alone and that she never would be again. She knew that their love was strong enough to overcome anything and that they would always be there for each other. The boy leaned over and kissed Lily on the forehead, and she smiled, feeling a warmth in her heart that she had never felt before. She knew that she had finally found her home and that she would never have to feel alone again. As they sat there holding each other close, they knew that their love was a beautiful thing, something that would last forever. They knew that they had been given a second chance, and they were determined to make the most of it. And so they sat under the old tree, watching the stars and dreaming of the future they would build together. The night was calm, and the stars above seemed to whisper promises of happiness and love. The forest around them was quiet, except for the soft rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. It felt as if the whole world had paused, giving them a moment of perfect peace. Lily leaned her head on the boy's shoulder, feeling safe and content. She had spent so many years feeling lost and alone, but now, with him by her side, everything seemed clear and full of hope. She thought about the old tree and how it had brought them together. It was as if the tree had known they were meant for each other, guiding them to this moment. The boy, too, was deep in thought. He held Lily close, marveling at how lucky he was to have found her. He thought about his dreams, how they had led him to her, and how everything now seemed to make sense. He believed that their meeting was not just a coincidence, but something destined to happen, a love story that had begun long before they were born. As the night wore on, the boy told Lily about the dreams he had been having. In one dream, he saw them living in a small, cozy house at the edge of the forest, with a garden full of flowers. In another, he saw them growing old together, surrounded by children and grandchildren. Each dream was a glimpse of a future filled with love and happiness. Lily listened to him, her heart swelling with emotion. She could picture the life he described, and it made her feel more hopeful than ever. She had spent so long fearing the unknown, but now, with him, the future seemed bright and full of possibilities. But as the night grew darker, a strange feeling began to creep into Lily's heart. It was a feeling she could not quite explain, a sense that something was still missing. She tried to push the thought away, focusing on the boy's warm presence beside her, but the feeling persisted, nagging at her as if trying to tell her something important. She looked up at the old tree, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. The tree had given her so much comfort, guidance, and now love. But she couldn't shake the feeling that the tree still had one more secret to reveal. Something that could change everything. The boy noticed the look on Lily's face and gently asked her what was wrong. She hesitated, not wanting to spoil the perfect moment, but she knew she could not keep her feelings from him. She told him about the strange sensation she felt, how it seemed like the tree had one more story to tell. The boy listened quietly, nodding as she spoke. He understood what she meant, because he felt it too, a sense that their journey was not quite over yet. He suggested that they spend the night under the old tree, hoping that it might reveal whatever it was holding back. Lily agreed, and they settled down on the soft grass, using each other's warmth to keep the cold at bay. The forest was dark around them, but they felt safe under the tree's protective branches. As they drifted off to sleep, they both hoped that the answers they sought would come to them in their dreams. Lily found herself standing in the middle of the forest, but this time it was different. The trees were taller, the air was thicker, and the ground beneath her feet felt ancient. She knew this place, but it was not the forest she had walked through before. It was older, more mysterious, as if she had stepped back in time. As she wandered through the forest, she heard the familiar whispering again. But this time, it wasn't coming from the tree. It was coming from somewhere deep within the forest, calling her to follow. She hesitated for a moment, fear gnawing at her heart. But then she remembered the boy's comforting presence. Even though he wasn't with her in this dream, she could feel his love giving her strength. She followed the whispers, walking deeper and deeper into the ancient forest. The trees grew thicker, their branches forming a canopy that blocked out the sky. The air was cool, and the ground was covered in soft, damp moss. Lily felt as though she was being led to something important, something that would change everything. After what felt like hours of walking, she finally reached a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a stone altar covered in ivy and moss. It looked like it had been there for centuries, forgotten by time. The whispers grew louder as she approached the altar, and she felt a sense of dread mixed with curiosity. On the altar was a single glowing stone. It was small and round, emitting a soft golden light. Lily reached out to touch it, feeling its warmth beneath her fingers. As soon as she did, the whispers stopped, and the forest fell into complete silence. Suddenly, the stone began to glow brighter, and Lily felt a surge of energy coursing through her body. Images flashed before her eyes, memories that weren't her own, but felt deeply familiar. She saw herself and the boy, but they were different, dressed in clothes from another time. They were laughing, holding hands, and walking through the same ancient forest. But then the images changed, showing them being separated, pulled apart by forces they could not control. Lily's heart ached as she watched the scenes unfold, realizing that these were memories from their past lives. They had been lovers once, long ago, but something had torn them apart. Now, in this life, they had been given a second chance to find each other again. But the images didn't stop there. Lily saw the boy standing in front of the stone altar, just as she was now. He was holding the glowing stone, tears streaming down his face. He whispered something, and the stone's light dimmed, its energy fading away. The boy placed the stone on the altar, and as he did, the forest around him began to change, becoming the forest that Lily knew. The forest where they had found each other in this life. Lily realized that the stone held the power to connect their souls, to bring them together across lifetimes, but it also held the power to keep them apart. The boy had sacrificed their love in the past, hoping to protect her from a great danger. And now the stone was giving her the choice to keep their love in this life or to release it, ensuring that they would meet again in the next. Tears filled Lily's eyes as she understood the gravity of the decision before her. She loved the boy with all her heart and didn't want to lose him again. But she also knew that their love was strong enough to survive anything, even time itself. As she stood there, the forest around her began to fade, and she heard the boy's voice calling her name. The dream was ending, and she had to make her choice. She reached out to the glowing stone, feeling its warmth one last time. With a deep breath, she made her decision. Lily woke up with a start, her heart pounding in her chest. The boy was still asleep beside her, his hand resting gently on hers. She looked at him, her love for him filling her with a deep sense of peace. She knew what she had to do. Gently, she woke the boy and told him about her dream. She told him about the stone, the memories of their past life, and the choice she had made. The boy listened, his eyes filled with love and understanding. He knew that whatever Lily had decided, it was the right choice. They both knew that their love was special, something that had lasted through lifetimes. And they knew that whatever the future held, they would face it together, hand in hand. As the first light of dawn began to break through the trees, Lily and the boy stood up and walked back to the old tree. They stood there for a moment, looking up at its ancient branches, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. The tree had brought them together, given them the chance to love again. And for that, they were forever thankful. Lily reached out and touched the tree's bark, whispering a quiet thank you. She felt the tree's warmth beneath her fingers, as if it was acknowledging her gratitude. She knew that the tree had been watching over them, guiding them to this moment, and she felt a deep connection to it. The boy took Lily's hand, and together they walked out of the forest, ready to face whatever life had in store for them. They knew that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle, that they had been given a second chance to be happy together. As they left the forest behind, they knew that they would never forget the lessons they had learned there. They would carry the love they had found with them, cherishing it, protecting it, and nurturing it for the rest of their lives. And as they walked into the light of a new day, they knew that their love was a beautiful thing, something that had lasted through time and would continue to grow, no matter what challenges they faced. They knew that they were meant to be together, that their souls were forever intertwined. In that moment, Lily and the boy understood that love was not just about being together in this life. It was about the connection between two souls, a bond that could not be broken, even by time itself. They knew that their love would continue to shine, guiding them, protecting them, and keeping them together forever and always. And so they walked into the future with hope in their hearts, knowing that no matter what happened, they would always have each other. Their love was a gift, a treasure that they would carry with them for the rest of their lives, and they were determined to cherish it, nurture it, and protect it, no matter what. In the quiet of the morning, as the first rays of sunlight touched the earth, Lily and the boy made a promise to each other. They promised to love each other, to support each other, and to always be there for each other, no matter what challenges they faced. They promised to never let go of the love they had found and to always remember the lessons they had learned in the forest. With that promise in their hearts, they walked forward, hand in hand, ready to face whatever the future held. They knew that their love was strong enough to overcome anything, that they were meant to be together, and that nothing could ever change that. And so their story continued, a beautiful tale of love, hope, and the power of the human heart. They knew that their love was eternal, a bond that would last through lifetimes. And they were determined to make the most of the second chance they had been given. As they walked into the light, they knew that they would always be there for each other, no matter what. And in the quiet of the morning, as the world around them began to wake up, they knew that they had found something truly special, a love that would last forever. And so the story of the alone girl and the boy who loved her came to an end. But their love, their connection, would continue to shine, guiding them, protecting them, and keeping them together forever and always. In the end, they realized that love was the greatest gift of all, something that could overcome any obstacle, something that could last through time itself. They knew that their love was a beautiful thing, something that would continue to grow and flourish no matter what challenges they faced. And as they walked